finally back into brake caliper rebuild mode. It's been a hot minute. These parts took way too long to come in, but I finally got a all balls. It's an 18-3087. It does both calipers. And here we go. Let's dive into it. I got a few minutes before I need to make supper for the family. So, took a minute to figure out which seals I need for each caliper. Super easy installation. I already got two in there. It's just a matter of grabbing the seal. Big ones with no, what do you call them? Like lips. Go in the bottom. I say big as in fat. That's an example of one of the bottom ones, how fat it is. Here's one of the top ones. It's much thinner, and you can see on the back side here how there's little lips. That's for the dust. So just a matter, see if I can do this one-handed here. Stick this down inside and get it into slot. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do this with one hand. Here we are, big seal. Down into the slot. Grab the thinner one. Bam. Down in the slot. Looks like as the caliper is sat here for that week, got a little bit of debris on the inside. I'm just going to use a clean Q-tip and clean that out. I have been working on a couple other bikes. Clean is your friend when it comes to rebuilding stuff like this. Cleaner the better. Okay, and then at this point, take the piston, slide it in. Maybe I'll give this a quick wipe too. If you line it up in the center, it should just push in by hand. Maybe needs a little lube. There we go. Use some good old-fashioned spit. Just needs a little lubrication on those rubber seals. Here we are. Otherwise, we've got the banjo bolt to go back in the other side. Two brand new crush washers for that. Also have new bleeder cap and boots for the sliders. So Here's one of the sliders. The boots just pull out. And then we got new ones here to put in. I already cleaned up the surfaces of where the brake pads slide on. We'll put a little lubrication on there when we put the brake pads in. And these will just pop into here like so. Like so. Here's the bleed screw and our new cap. And we just put this end here. It's kind of got a little hook so it can stay, and then this will go on top here after we're done bleeding it, like so. But I'm going to leave that off for now because we're going to need access to bleed it. Goes in the back here. Again, I'm not going to tighten it down because we're going to have to bleed it, so I'll just hand tight for now is fine. And then you can re-lube the sliders here just with some brake slider lube, which I've already done, and it's just a matter of putting this all back together and bolting it back onto the bike. And boots go on the sliders like so. Yeah, I'll take you down to the floor and we'll do that. Here we are down at the bike. I loosely put everything together so I could show you. With the banjo bolt, you'll want crush washer, and then the brake line, and then the second banjo bolt, because they seal everything up. And then to put the rest of the caliper together, it was a matter of putting the brake pads in the brake caliper and then sliding this bracket onto the sliders and over the brake pads. You can see how they fit in the little grooves there, top and bottom. And then you push the bracket all the way over towards the pistons, leaving room in here for the brake rotor. So it's just a matter of installing it back on the bike here. Goes like so on the brake rotor, or on the rotor, of course. Kind of impossible to do with one hand. Tightening everything down, and then we'll do the other side and I'll show you how to bleed the brakes. So here we are, the left side all put back together. Gave the brake rotor a good clean with some brake clean and a rag, both sides. Here's the shot of the caliper back on. I forgot to mention before, when you're installing the banjo fitting and bolt, you'll want the banjo fitting to be pushed all the way against this stopper. So that way when you're tightening the bolt in a clockwise direction, the fitting is forced to the stopper. So here it is all put back together. The only thing left to do is bleed the system through the bleeder screw here. I'll put the other side together off camera as it's identical to this, and then show you the bleeding process. I've got a fancy tool for that. Okay, bike's back together as promised, I am going to show you my fancy tool for bleeding. A million different hacks for this on the internet these days. I've tried a bunch of them, and honestly, on my recommendation, just spend the $40 or whatever this cost and buy one of these. It's called a Mighty Vac, basically a handheld pump with a gauge on it, and it's got some hoses, a container to collect the brake fluid as you vacuum it out, and then more hose to go into it. It's got a bunch of different sized fittings for different size bleeders and 90-degree bends and all sorts of fancy stuff that it comes with. So you can set it up for your application. So the best way to do a good bleed job here, obviously start with some fresh brake fluid. This bike calls for .4. Fill up the master cylinder and then start with the caliper that's farthest away from it. These are basically the same, so I've just decided to start on the right side. So I've got it on the bleeder screw here, and it's basically as simple as pumping this up. Create a bunch of vacuum, and it'll suck the air or fluid, whatever you have. There we go, starting to get some fluid, obviously lots of air in it. The trick to this is don't let the master go dry, or else you suck in air and you got to start all over again. So just let that do its thing. Keep pumping it up, sucking the air out. Keep the master topped off. I'm gonna have to stick you down so I can put some more fluid in there. Do the one side, then do the other. Here we are, fully back together. Just got back from a quick test ride. Brakes work great. Unfortunately, the symptom of pulsing front brakes that the owner described and was hoping this would fix is still there. While riding, you can clearly tell that it's the left brake rotor that's warped. That's kind of what I told him before I started the job, that most likely one or both of the brake rotors are warped in the front. And when you ride down the road, you can actually see on the left side here the caliper move back and forth as it's floating on the roped rotor. The left one for sure severely warped. The right one, to the naked eye, looks okay while you're riding. He's gonna tackle that on his own, replace the left one, go for a rip, see how it is. If it's better but not perfect, then he'll replace the right one as well. So that's his decision, his bike. Project turned out great. I'll give it a quick wipe with some liquid detailer, and he's gonna come pick it up tomorrow. As you can tell, I've got a few more bikes in the garage. Kawasaki Ninja, Harley Night Train, doing a few things to those. If you enjoy videos like this, you can look forward to seeing those bikes in a future video. Please like and subscribe for more.